Welcome back to the channel where we are making a video game from scratch using Love2d and Lua. We've been working on an inventory system and we have got to the point where we can like equip an item in the item slot and swap it out. So that is working. I think the next step is to take the item from the slot and carry it over into the game, right? Because right now it's only visible here, where we should be able to kind of pull this open, equip a berry, and then see our berry down here in our HUD. So I did get this a little screwed up. I screwed up the mock-up, right? So the mock-up isn't the same height as our HUD here. So we need to ultimately make this mock-up accurate to this so that we can place the item appropriately in the inventory class. Then we can worry about carrying it over outside. So I guess the first move is let's assess how our item is being equipped in our item slot and see if that is local, if it's global, if we're able to pass it back to our playState from our pauseState. Because here's the playState, enter is the pauseState. So let's see if we can carry data from the pauseState into the playState and into the pauseState, because we need to be able to know which item we have got equipped so that we can equip something else instead. And then if once we get that working, I think we'll worry about the toggling our inventory system over to the key items, which are over here, which are the elements that you can cast. So like these are the items that you can equip in your item slot, in your B slot, but then in your A slot you get to pick which spell you want to cast. So it's just these four that are going to be swappable, and then you can it'll be a grid of 3x4 here, and then our little Tashio here will live update when you know these other tunic colors give you certain properties in the game. So that'll be something you can equip, but it doesn't go in the item slot here. Only this goes in, and then the tomes are something that you would equip so that you can play your musical instruments and try to play the different music notes for the different instruments. So once we have an instrument here, we can make sure that we only toggle our loot system once an instrument is equipped. So right now, just hitting L brings that up, but we want it to be like, hey, if you've got a loot equipped and you hit the B button in the item slot, right, it'll load up that minigame with whatever tome you've got equipped as the sheet music, or just a sandbox of music if you don't have a tome equipped or you haven't found one yet. So let's take a look at how our item is being equipped here. So we'll start here in the inventory class. Now we have a item slot. It's a field that is an empty table. And right here, actually in our update here, we have here, if you press P, which is the B button, or the A button actually, if you press P, that's the A button, then we're actually gonna insert into our grid. So here is where this self item slot is the thing we're looking for to carry into the playState. Now this is good news, because if we look at what this item slot is, it is just a table that's holding an item object, and this is part of our inventory object, and our inventory object is instantiated in our playState. So if we look in our playState here, we do have a G inventory, which is an inventory class. So our G inventory.item slot should have access to this item that we equip in the pause state. So if we look at our inventory, we are... This is kind of interesting because we're not doing anything... I want to check out our pause state because I feel like we're only updating our inventory in the pause state, which should be correct because we're only updating our inventory in the pause state. Okay, so that's good. But we're also only rendering our inventory in the pause state. So let's try to render our inventory outside of the pause state and in our play state, and then let's see if we just carry it over because it should be global, so we should have access to it. But the only thing is it'll look wrong because we made in the mock-up we made it wrong. So yeah, see, our inventory is being rendered here. Our inventory is being rendered over our play state. So it's not that we want to render the whole inventory. We want to render only the item slot. And that is only going to be populated if we equip something. So render, we can't render an item slot. Okay. An item slot is a item, so we can say we have to ask if it's empty first because we can't render a nil value. So we're going to have to say if our item slot at index 1 does not equal nil, so like there is an item in there, then we'd want to render. Oops. Does not equal. If the item slot at index 1 does not equal nil, then we want to go ahead and render the item slot that is in there. What just happened to me? Okay. And then let's see if that gets us where we want to go. So there's no item slot equipped. If we come in here and equip something, like a berry, then switch back, we get the little berries there. So that's good. We do need to make sure, we need to tweak a couple of things. One thing being the font. We're doing a different font in our play state than we are. It looks like we set... I wonder how we check which font this is. Is this classic font? Okay. Classic font is probably too big for what we want. So what font was it? I want to use the other font. Was it Pixel font? We have a classic font, Pixel font, small font. Okay, so let's try Pixel font in our play state here. I do like the smaller one. Like as little as possible is probably best for this. Yeah, so I like the smaller font. So what we'll do is we'll come into our item class, and when we render, I want to get, these need to be offset by one less pixel. This is like the drop shadow for the numbers so that we can read it. Oh shoot, that messed up. I think it's because if you look at the drop shadow here, it looks like, oh no, it looks right. It looks down one and right one. Okay. But here, before we render this, if we do a set font to our pixel font, yeah, it does look a little off here. It looks like it's just... looks right too and down none. So if we switch this, let me just see if that looks better. Okay, that does look better. Okay, so let's modify this. We want to do... Let's do... We want to change where we're rendering the items here. Like, this will be really gross. We can give it a more consistent value. We should have an offset in here so that we can kind of tweak it, but also we aren't going to be, you know, once we settle on the font, we shouldn't have to tweak it, so it'll just be a little bit of a guessing game until we get happy with it. That's way off. Okay. Way off. Let's just try to get the white of the number rendering in the right spot, and then we'll worry about the other one. So let's just do this. That looks pretty good. Maybe up and left one. Okay, so if we were to give this the same value, it would be right under it, and we want to give a little bit of a drop shadow, so let's just try moving the 3 to a 4, and we'll see what that looks like. Yeah, and then we want to move it down by 1. It's because why? It's down by 1. It looks like it goes down by 2. This is weird. It's like it's not playing nice with the font size. Okay. Because the 9 isn't very readable, right? Like, it's not so readable to see that says 9. We could just darken the satchel here so that you can see white numbers on it better. Let's see what the numbers down there do look better readable. So maybe we just make our canvas darker. But also let's see in our fonts what might be different about that font where that doesn't play nice. Small font is a 4 pixel. Okay. We were using pixel font, so it's an 8 pixel typeface. Okay, I don't know why it doesn't play nice, but what we'll do, we'll check our HUD, right? We'll check our HUD for how high the HUD render is. And it looks like it is 16 pixels. So we need to make sure our little HUD in our mock-up is only 16 pixels. Then we'll make our background darker. So right here, we'll make sure this is only 16 pixels high. So we'll do, how would we count that? Okay, so that's 16 right there. So we can shift this down. It might mean we have to add another row of items or something, but I don't know. Let's see. So what we really want to do is say that this, let's duplicate this. So we have a reference of how tall it needs to be. We'll say that this, oh gosh. I don't know what I just did here. On a new layer, I'm going to just mark at how tall 16 is. I don't even see it. There we go. Okay, so we need to shrink this bottom layer to be that tall. And this is why I made the crappy programmer mockup art, is because I knew we were going to be tweaking stuff like this. So it's nice that we don't have to, we didn't spend a lot of time making it look nice and undoing all of our work just now. So that's good. But we do want to change this canvas to be maybe the darker canvas, and then our darker canvas can be a different color. So maybe we can just swap them. Darker canvas on the left and lighter on the right. I don't know if I like that. I feel like it should be maybe darker. Yeah. Because we have a gray down here, so I feel like it might just need to be closer to black. Or just darker gray. I don't like it that dark, though. What color should this be? I guess it could be the same color, we just give it like a border. I don't think I like that either. Maybe just like a brown. Like a dark brown. It looks so bad. Yeah, I don't like the dark brown. I don't know what color it should be. Maybe we'll see what the border looks like if we keep the same color. So like let's make a little border here. Okay. I don't know. It's missing something. It shouldn't be the same color, I don't think. We'll keep this for now. This is just the mock-up anyway. So let's see if we can get the proper inventory stuff down here. Yeah, we can afford to redo this. This looks bad. We'll just redo it. Okay. So we have B on the left, which is our item slot. Okay, that's looking better. The hearts are jacked, but that's okay. Okay, let's save this as our new template. Let's see how it looks. I'm hoping it matches. Oh, we need the right color. Gosh. Yeah, we need the right color from our HUD. Let's make sure. Yeah, we'll need to move that. Okay, but it is remembering it. That's good. So, yeah, let's match the color of our HUD here. I do like this gray. I found we can look up the exact gray here in the HUD render. It's this color right here. So we can mimic this in A-Sprite. So let's get that at the bottom there. We can match this in A-Sprite. Okay, so we have RGB 142, 146, 171. Nice. Okay, that'll be our color here. And then, you know what we can do too is just take our hearts and plop them down there so that they'll be the same anyway. I think we're rendering our hearts in game actually. Yeah, we're rendering our hearts not from a sprite sheet. Yeah, we're not rendering because our hearts can go down by half a heart, so we're actually rendering like the cell shade, the outline of a heart, and then the hearts by half, depending what our health is. So we can't quite just plop our hearts down there. What we could do is just render our hearts just like we are rendering our hearts currently, so that should work. Let's delete these hearts so that we can render our real hearts. So we'll carry our current hearts over into the pause state and make sure we render them. So yeah, that should work. So let's do this save as PNG pause mockup. Okay. Sweet. Let's see. It should look a little better now that the color matches and the size matches. That is nice. ideally we would render our B and A buttons and the slots and stuff not from a sprite sheet, but in game, so that we can just render it here like we're going to render our hearts. So let's see how we're rendering our hearts so that we can plop them into our pause state. So where are our hearts? I don't even know. Is it in our player? Oh gosh. It's in the player. Is that where the render is, though? Oh, okay, no. It's here in the playState. We're rendering this. Okay, so let's do this. Where do we define this heart row empty? It is global here in dependencies. Okay. So we should be able to just say... We should be able to take this and plop it in our pause state and render it there. Ideally, we would and should put it in its own little class so that we can just carry it over. Oh, we're not rendering it. Yeah, we are. Okay. Let's do the heart render after we draw our pause mockup so it doesn't just get drawn over it. Okay, so we are carrying over our hearts. Let's double check that that's working. Like if we lose some heart, let's make sure that carries over. So we lose some heart. Yeah, and then we have our same heart down there. Okay, so that's cool. Let's get our items in the correct spot now with the new HUD. So we'll make sure in our item class, when we go and make it equipped, we have this equip function. We need to modify this so it is closer to where we want. So let's just adjust these values a little bit and see where we're at. Okay, it needs to be a little, maybe like 3 or 4 pixels up. Okay. Getting close. There we go. Let's move it left a bit. Okay. Yeah, I think I just don't like... I think we should make it a little bit wider, because once there's a double-digit number in there, like, this one looks like it should be over to the right, but with the number there, it looks too far to the right. So let's just give it a couple more pixels of width for our cursor box thing. And then I think I'll like these settings. You know, and then we should probably make our whole HUD a component sort of deal so that we can just render our HUD in our pause state as well as our play state. Because right now we're kind of doing it separate, but they'll be the same, just like how we're pulling in the hearts into the pause state. We need to pull in the images for these to render also. So I'm gonna also put A is our spellcasting slot, and it looks a little different. It's got a little hole for a spell element. Something like that. I think I like that. And like, so it's supposed to look like a little imprint, and then once you equip a spell, it'll kind of go in there like a little, I forget what it's called in a game, or like when you like embed a gem into a stone or something. I don't know what it's called. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's move it over to the right. That's looking pretty good. Okay, sweet. So we do just need to render... We really do need to kind of make our HUD more modular. Because right now, those bottom things, the B and A slot, are just being rendered in our HUD mockup, in our pause mockup, and our playState doesn't render that. So I'm trying to think of what a decent way to do this. Like, I feel like it'll get weird if we try to make it its own class. The whole HUD its own class. But I do think we need to at least pull it out into its own image so that we can reuse just the HUD image. I think we will need to do that. So let's pull it out, and then we'll just render it. Yeah, we'll pull it out. What we'll do is we'll copy exactly just the HUD down there, and we'll do a new just that. So this will be called HUD save as HUD overlay. Save it as a PNG. We'll have to import this into our game. I think we do this in our dependencies. We give ourselves the HUD drawable here, HUD overlay. And then when we go in our playState and we go to render our HUD in the HUD render, let's say that we don't do a rectangle here, but we do a draw, and the draw is our HUD overlay, and we're drawing it at an X of 0, a Y of exactly what our rectangle is, right? So like virtual height minus 16, and then we give it a width of our virtual width and a height of 16. So just like our rectangle, but we're doing the HUD overlay instead. Let's see if we pull that in. 445. We didn't close this. Okay, I don't see it. And I think it's because we're doing some stuff here for our... Well, render a draw. Let me just see if we take this draw the HUD overlay and we just do it at the very last thing. Oh gosh, in our render. Oh my gosh, our playState is all sorts of jacked up. See how much stuff we got in there. Yeah, I'm still not seeing it. Well, that's a problem. Let's see if we just try to draw it at... Oh, and you know what? Yeah, we don't... Oh, that was my bad. We don't give those other arguments because the drawable knows its width and height. You don't need to give it. So what we should do... Yeah, this is my bad, my bad. We don't need that stuff. We just need an X and Y for a drawable. So let's leave it there. Oh gosh, yep. Gotta fix it, gotta fix it. Just an X and Y. Okay. All right. It rendered a different color, and that's because we're doing something somewhere, doing a set color like this. So what we'll do, we'll just take our HUD render, and we'll make this one of the last things we do, because it kind of should be one of the last things. It's like, in terms of the game draw order, it's like very top, right? So it should be last. Nice. And that... Oh, we do... Oh, okay. We need to set... Yep, we can delete this. So we'll set the color to white. Draw it. Sweet. So if we pull up our inventory, we can come in here and say, I want a blueberry. Blueberry. And then we're rendering it. Okay, yeah. Draw order. It's last other than our inventory render. Obviously, okay. So, blueberry and blueberries in our slot. Nice, nice, nice. And then we have, this is great. We aren't getting our hearts. We aren't getting our hearts anymore, so we need our hearts to be after. Let's get our hearts. Oh my goodness. HUD. Okay, we should have our hearts there now. There we go, we got our hearts back. Okay, cool. So if we get hit, we'll lose some health. And then if we pause, we have that same amount of health. We can equip an item. It carries it into the playState. And it also carries, yeah, it carries the quantity and everything. So if we were to put on a different item with a different quantity, it carries that over. If we want to swap it, we can. This is great. Sweet. Okay. So we'll need to... one thing this does is it takes off our Manus render. So the thing is, what we could do is we could just shift up our Manus and focus indicator render. Where do we render it? Here we go. Where do we render? Oh god, where do we render all this? Manus bar render. Okay, so if we were to say, okay, well, this is now just a -4 on the Y, because everything's too high and it's too stacked, so -4 should put it right above the HUD so that we can see it. And I haven't decided if I want this visible or not. So now it's there. It's like sitting above the HUD. I just don't think I like that. Yeah, I don't think I like it. I might leave it on just so that we can kind of see some stuff. Like, see it as we spellcast it. But I think in the game, we're going to rely a little more on audio cues and just a feel for it. Because I don't want the players looking down at that thing while they're playing. I want them to feel how a successful spellcast should be performed. So like if they're looking at that HUD, I think it's a failure. So I think we will try to do a more intuitive, or it'll be tougher, so not intuitive, but like a more experience-based learning than visual instruction. I don't know how to describe that, but and then I need to decide if there's going to be money in the game. I think so. I mean, everyone likes gaining money, like collecting little money rupees, right? So we probably will have the rupees. Trying to think of what you can buy with rupees. I don't think I want to go the Stardew Valley route where you have to like buy a bigger backpack. But what could you buy? Maybe like special items. Like single-use items, like maybe health potions or yeah, maybe health potions. I don't know, because I want to give people a reason to, oh, maybe there's one tunic that you gotta buy, or maybe all the tunics you have to buy. No, I don't know. Because the tomes you'll unlock by defeating bosses at the end of a biome. That's like the dungeon key. But what you can buy, let me think. In Link's Awakening, you can buy stuff like a shield. You can buy a bow and arrow. You can buy bombs. You can buy a shovel. You can play the crane game. You can, pay money to play the crane game and try to win stuff that goes to the story. Like, I know you can play and win that Yoshi doll that you have to give to a NPC. Hey, Sasquatch. How's it going, dude? I'm sitting here trying to theorize what things we can buy in the store if we add money. But so far today, we've got our inventory working to swap items, so like we can put our berries in our item slot here, or if we want to switch over to like the magic dust or whatever, you can equip that. So that's what we got working today. But I'm trying to think of more items to fill this with, because right now I know berries. So what I'm thinking is like berries will be there's going to be, so my idea is like there's going to be maybe 4 different main types of entities, and geckos are one. So I'm thinking that every entity we can kind of repurpose 2 times. So like maybe they're like, this is the forest gecko where he's purple or something. And then maybe there's like a desert gecko that looks more sandy but also still corrupted. And then I'm thinking like the berries might be able, you can like drop a berry and they would go and eat it and leave you alone for a bit. Or you can, fight them and try to cleanse them. So like berries could be like a quick, like I don't want to sit here and spellcast you. I'm going to just come over here, drop a berry and run away or whatever. And they'll be lured by the berry or something. And then I thought of another, or like I want like bird enemies. So like scarecrows or vultures. So vultures or buzzards can like come down and maybe you feed them seeds. So like maybe we have, this is a bag of seed and you can just like toss out a bag of seed and have them eat that instead of eat you or something. But I don't know, because it's like there needs to be some sort of balance to like when and how you use the spell casting too. So it's like maybe certain spells are only effective against certain enemies. So like fire can cleanse the forest enemies, or I don't know. Still trying to think about the balance of the game in that sense. Because right now it feels muddy that one, we only have one spell cast, and then we only have one enemy entity. So I'm trying to figure out how to add some more variety, but also have it make sense. Like are both hey Basie, hey, thank you for the raid. Thank you, welcome in, raiders. Hey, we are doing some inventory stuff today. We just got we're able to like equip into a slot here. We can't do anything with it. So we just have the ability to equip it. So we can pause and come in here and equip something. But we don't have ability to do anything else. So I'm sitting here trying to think of some more items we can put in here, and then we can ultimately try to get some more items in here to give it some variety. Yeah, I know. Well, luckily, it's actually only been, I think this is the 4th day of us trying to do it. So 4 days ago, we didn't have any of this. I mean, obviously, we got the programmer art on screen there. So it's still temporary, but we've got most of what I want, which is just being able to swap the inventory and carry it over into the PlayState. So it does pause the game. So like if they're chasing us and we go to switch something, we don't get damaged. It pauses the game real quick and then we can resume it. So I'm happy with the progress we made, but we don't have any items to put it in there. That's the thing I'm worried about. It's like the idea is pressing B is our item slot, and that's for like consumables, but A is our elemental slot. So if you look over here, we'll have a way to toggle our other side of our inventory. So here, these different elements get equipped into the elemental slot, and that determines what spell you're casting. So you can like swap spells by swapping the inventory, switching out the stones, and then also the little tunics will give you different powers in your character, and once you click it, it'll show the your character loadout essentially with whatever item you've got equipped. It'll kind of put it on there, and then whatever tunic you've got, it'll equip it there. But I don't know what to do. I'm thinking I want money in the game just because it's fun to collect rupees and stuff. So yeah, Sasquatch. So I put I've got a little note here. For right now I have fire, ice, sand, and water, just like some elements. Those are the ones I have. I made pink there. I don't know why I made pink, but those are the items I have. And then those are the elements I have. And then for items, we have obviously like our music stuff. So like once we have a lute, we can equip the lute and start playing that. And then the sheet music that's coming across, that is whichever tome you equipped. So like these things are the tomes for the sheet music that you can equip. If you don't have any equipped, you can just do like a sandbox of playing music. So 4 of these slots will be taken up by musical items. So that leaves That leaves 8 slots for other items. So, oh, you haven't seen the loot yet? Yeah, we've got, so like, it's like Guitar Hero, right? So you can play. The only thing is, we did this before I decided I want it to function like a Game Boy game. So right now we have 4 different strings. That's U, I, O, P. And 4 different frets, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you, it does work, like, the notes get altered and stuff, but what doesn't work is it doesn't work on a Game Boy UI. So like if you're if you're playing on mobile, I want this to still work on mobile. So I'm gonna have to switch it up. I'm gonna be doing the strings on the D-pad. So diagonals will be 2 notes or 2 strings at a time, so you can still play multiple strings, and then the A and B will be the frets. So right now there is some overlap. So I think I'm gonna change the notes so that there's no overlap, so that if you do string, fret 1, fret 2, string, it'll be the next note, so that we can walk all the way up the scale. And then I think I'll try to do, I thought about that, Squatch. It's just that it's really hard to determine both buttons being pressed in a certain time frame. Like if you, we could register, like it would mean on a touch device, the touch kind of like averages out the position of the touch. So it doesn't really register 2 touches in the same area. It kind of like averages, I don't know. It's weird to me to try to press it with both fingers. I did think about that though. So that might be something we test on touch. It's just that from what I've seen, the touch is kind of like, it kind of just like goes to the center. It registers everywhere that's being touched, and it moves the center to be the center of that touch. So it's a little tricky to do something like pushing 2 buttons on a touch screen at once. And I don't want people to have to like claw grip that sucker, So I think the move is we'll try to do the D-pad gives us, if we go right, down, left, up, if it gives us the bottom string to the top string, those are the single strings, is just the straight up D-pads, and then the corners, the diagonals are the double notes. So it would be, if we go from here, I'll put like, so like this would be this note, this would be this note, this would be this note, and then this. So that gets us all at least ability to play some double strings, which could be cool for the music. It's just that, yeah, I want to make it playable on Game Boy because I just love that. Oh, and dude, Sasquatch, I don't know if you've seen, it's on the website. If you go to Tashio.dev, you can play right now. And it's playable with WASD. If you want to play with the loot, you hit L. And then UIOP for the loots. So we've got a build pipeline now to deploy it to the website. Super easy. It's like 2 buttons. This is about maybe 5 commits behind, so it doesn't have the inventory system just yet because I don't really deploy to the website until I've tested the touch capability for it, and we haven't added touch for the inventory system. So maybe tomorrow we sit down and get our inventory working on touch so that I can deploy the inventory up to the website. And then I'll think about what we want to spend rupees on and what types of things we can buy in the store, because if we have, let's say we have 4 slots for musical items, and then we have 4 slots for food items that you can feed enemies. That leaves 4 slots of other stuff we need to come up with an idea for. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else we can buy in store. I don't know what I like to be purchasable. Why not just have the D-pad be the buttons you need to press? Yeah, I think it's because I want it to be more like a real instrument. Like I want it to be you strum and then also play a fret or something. Like I don't want it just to be a touch the same direction sort of game. I want it to be like a here's how an instrument works. If you don't modify it with the frets, it'll sound one way, and if you modify it with the frets, it'll sound a different way. So like I think it's because I want it to feel more like a real instrument. But that definitely could work. I mean, there are in Animal Well actually there is a musical flute that you can get to play, and it plays a whole scale with the diagonals. So starting right is like a C, and then it goes D, E, E, F, G, A, B, and then C, because that's the eighth note is the octave high. I think that's right. But there's no modifications. It's just play the note all the way up. And I think now that we're switching it to Game Boy, I think with the complexity of the strings on the lute for desktop, I was thinking that lute was going to be the only instrument, but now, since we're a little limited in the lute, I think it'd be funner if we have a total of 4 different instruments. So I think I've got ideas for other instruments. I'll still have to think about it, though. I think I want like a hand whistle and maybe a flute and a lute and maybe one other thing. But haven't got that far yet, planning. But we should add rupees because it'll be fun to collect. I just have to think about what we can spend on. Health potions is like the only thing I can kind of think of. Maybe there's like some more permanent upgrades you can save up for that cost a little more. I don't know what those could be, but I always like I like playing games where you can kind of build and upgrade stuff. So it's like if there's money you can save up for, and see, like in Link's Awakening, you walk into the store and you see that the bow and arrow is like 980 rupees. You're like, and then little old me just sits there and digs up every square to dig up rupees to buy it. Yeah. Okay, well, we did good. We got our inventory swapping consistently through the playState and pauseState. And then let's just take a look at our get diff here. Yeah. Basically what we did is we remade the HUD to be input into the playState. Hey Gruppler, hey, welcome. Hey, thank you for the follow. Here, I'll show you what we were working on. We just got our inventory system here, where we can equip little berries or baggies. We can't do anything with them just yet, but we can equip them, even though it doesn't do anything. And then this game is about like spell casting, so right now this is the fire spell. So we can cleanse the geckos here with our fire spell. We've got little pits we can fall into. We've got a loot minigame that I'm very bad at, but the frets do modify the sounds. I'm just very bad at playing it. But we need to adapt it to work on Game Boy, so that's going to be in the next couple weeks here, I think. But it's nice having you in. Gruppler is being... he's the first guest of the interview series I'm hosting starting tomorrow. So tomorrow at 6 p.m. Mountain, I'll be streaming our interview. Gruppler is a wonderful developer who has made a really cool program called PTN Ninja. So you can see all about it tomorrow when we do the interview. But thanks for being here, dude. I appreciate it. And it'll be live on YouTube as well as I'll stream it on Twitch here, and it'll be live on YouTube at the same time. I've got the link, and I was gonna email you, Gruppler. I was gonna email you the Premiere link because it's all scheduled and ready to go. I think I've got the link here. Yeah, it's already scheduled to go live, but I'm gonna run a test. I'm gonna run a test stream on my bot account to make sure I can live stream a pre-recorded video and make sure that works. But this should be the Premiere link for tomorrow, and then it'll also be here on the channel. But yeah, thanks for stopping in, dude. I'm actually wrapping up the stream here. I try to stream every day. It works for the most part, but it's normally just about an hour or so. So we'll have to do our git commit and call it a night here. We'll probably raid out, but today we added HUD to the pauseState and inventory to the playState. Sweet. Hey, no worries, dude. I didn't even know you had a Twitch, so it's cool to see you. Yeah, it's really cool to see you here, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry you caught the end of it, because yeah, I'm just wrapped up, so we'll be raiding out here. We'll raid out a fellow game dev streamer. Wow, Hypnotic Games has got 51 peeps right now, so we'll add to his stream here if anyone's down to raid him. But thanks for hanging, y'all. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the interview, so it'll stream from about 6 p.m. Mountain to 7, and then afterwards I'll be back streaming game dev stuff. So we have that to look forward to tomorrow, as well as it'll be posted on YouTube for anyone who misses it. But peace out, y'all. Hope y'all have a good night. Did I not raid out? Oh, I spelled his name wrong. Yeah, I spelled his name wrong. My bad. Yeah, we'll raid out to Hypnotic. Thanks for hanging, y'all. Hope you all have a good night. Peace out.